I'm being nervous. Hello. No, stop. You're looking at my hands. Hello. I'm back. It's Cassie. What up? Today, I'm wearing a beanie because I need to wash my hair. No. Seriously. Today, I'm so excited because I have my fiancé here and I'm going to be turning him into a devil. All right. So if you don't know, Tyler's a beatboxer. And he has his own YouTube channel with like 100,000 plus subscribers. I don't know.
130.
Okay. So, while I'm doing his devil makeup, I'm going to be asking him questions about how he grew his channel and is still growing his channel and pursuing a creative job while also working full time. Okay, so I saw Alex Faction's devil makeup tutorial and I just thought it was sick, so I wanted to recreate it and put my own spin on it. Are you okay with that?
Yeah,
it's gonna be crazy.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I've never had makeup done on my face at all, ever.
Never,
so.
and also he hates when things are near his eyes, so this is gonna be interesting. And he tears up, so wish me luck.
Can't promise I won't cry.
But so anyway, my point is I'm gonna be asking him questions about pursuing a creative career as I'm putting the makeup on. So if you want to see how I do the base of it, go watch Alex Faction's video to see how I do that. And then I'll put my own spin on it, and all the products will be linked down below. All right, so before I start asking Tyler questions, I am going to be putting red face paint all over his face for the base. Are you excited?
Scared?
So I'm not going to be asking him to talk while I'm doing that, or else it'll just be all smudgy and uneven. So I'm going to go ahead with my Mayron Paradise red face paint, and I'm going to put that on. I'm just going to speed through it, and then when we come back, we'll start the questionnaire. And it doesn't matter because I'm putting red on.
One excuse.
Ready?
Hold on. Is this what you do every day?
Yeah, this is what I do every day, babe. All right, so we have the red face paint on. Was that bad?
Yeah, it tickled my ears, dude. Yo, what if I just like face planted into the light company right now?
No, please don't. Please don't. All right, so now that we have the red face paint on, I'm going to continue with the makeup, but I'm going to ask Tyler his first question. Okay, so as you know, my channel is about me being a professional and a lawyer, but also really liking makeup and that creative side of me and expressing that and not feeling afraid to do that. So my first question is, how did you decide that beatboxing was more than just a hobby? Were you already working when you decided to pursue it, as an actual potential career? And what advice would you give for someone else who might be working a full-time job that, might want to pursue a creative job?
That is... These are deep. These are going to be hard to answer. So, I don't know. I mean, ever since I started beatboxing, it's been one of those things where...
Can you keep your eyes open?
Oh. I don't know. Ever since I started beatboxing back in high school, I feel like it's one of those, just unique talents you don't hear very often. So every time anyone heard it, they always were, just kind of shocked by it and, amazed, for lack of better words. So ever since that, and then I've always produced YouTube videos, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it was in high school, it was really cool. People had they pushed me to do it a lot, and so I just started watching YouTube videos and getting better and better. And then I started beatboxing in college, where we met in acapella.
Did you see beatboxers on YouTube when you were looking it up? Were there a lot of them that you're like, oh, I can do this too? Or for me when I saw other makeup people since 2006, obviously something where it's oh, this could potentially be a career. So
I mean, it wasn't like that with beatboxers for the most part. There was battles, and that's about the extent that there was in terms of what you saw. There wasn't a lot of content.
Live battles?
Yeah, live battles. There wasn't a lot of content creators at the time. I remember there was a handful of them, right? I don't know how many of them were able to make a living off of it, because YouTube was also different back then too. So I mean, a lot of the beatboxing you saw was in live battles, world championships and just in different countries and everything like that. So I guess when you viewed it, it was hard to see it as a career initially, but obviously it is.
So if that's the case, then what made you go for it?
I just think it's something that as a beatboxer, it's just something that just became such an integral part of my life. It's with you all day, every day.
Did you have the mindset of this is just gonna be a hobby, or were you this from the start? start, I'm gonna like have this in my mind, like this is a second job?
So I think, I don't think I initially thought from the get-go that it was going to be a job, right? And I think that's because, well, when I started, I was in high school, and I always had the mindset of going to college and getting a degree. And so when I went to college, I got a degree and started a cappella with you, just helped me push the art and push my skills and everything to the next level. But I knew ever since I was in college that the day I graduated, I wanted to start producing YouTube content again, because YouTube content takes so long to make that I didn't want to do it during college. So just basically after college, I knew I just wanted to start getting back into YouTube content.
So what advice would you give to someone who's starting out and they make a couple beatbox videos or whatever it may be that they're doing, and they're getting like 10 views for the first like 500 video? Well, I don't know how it works, but like, would you tell them like stick in it? If you like, is that part of the mindset? If you want to pursue it as a career, do you have to like what's your mindset have to be? Like, I would think it would have to be like, you have to just go in and do the work regardless.
I mean, that's kind of what it was. Once I started in December of 2015, I went 3.5 years of a weekly video every Thursday at noon, never missed it for 3.5 years. So yeah, I mean, obviously my initial videos were only pulling maybe like, 100 views, 200 views, and then occasionally one might grab a lot, right? And I think I can attribute even my initial 100 views to the fact that I'm a beatboxer in a small community, and I had battled before, so people knew who I was, right? So I already had a little bit of reputation, I guess, going into it, not a lot, because I continued to build that. So I think that helped with the initial bit, but yeah, it's a lot of just grinding it out, finding content to reach people, right? For me, I started producing tutorials, one, for the aspect of wanting to help people, but also because I knew that people are going to search tutorials. So like, while certain videos may piggyback off your current audience, tutorials reach out to a brand new audience. Every single time someone searched up how to do like a, and I'm like, oh, well, they found me, so I taught them how to do it. So they subscribed and checked me out, and that was a really big part of building in the beginning. But it's a lot of work. I mean, you're talking to me who worked a full-time job, waking up at 4:45 every morning, not getting home till, 6 something, and then producing content till like midnight at least every day.
All right, so that kind of goes off of my next question, which is, a lot of people see YouTubers or whatever, and they're like, I want to do that, and they don't really understand like what goes into it. Like, what is just the raw, real truth about working full-time and having that sustainable income while also pursuing a career?
Well, like I said in the beginning, I woke up at 4 something a.m. and went to work, and I worked really far away, so it was my own fault. But I didn't get back till like 6 something, and then get back, cook, edit until like midnight, maybe get a little bit of sleep if I'm lucky.
Oh wait, can I just interject and say that you were cooking and all that stuff because I was in law school? You're just like sitting over here in my freaking
whoa.
kick back, like I cooked, I cleaned, I slammed.
No, look, I didn't once say that. But like, it got to a point too where I was just like, you know what I'm doing really isn't healthy, and I gained a lot of weight from that really dumb schedule. So I chose to kind of back off and just produce content more at my leisure. Does that mean it's easier? No, but it means I give myself more time to make the content, so I'm not like pulling 3 a.m.ers very often. So like basically right now, I will go to work and come home and typically now try to work out, cook, eat, but then I still end up editing several hours normally a day when I'm trying to produce content. But it's kind of hard to, because when you're doing full-time, you have so many ideas. There's so many concepts that are time sensitive where you can't do them all with a full-time job. It's hard. But if I just hired an editor, all the problems would be solved. But you gotta have money for the editor, and if you can't produce content on YouTube as much, you can't make the money on YouTube as much, which means you don't have the money to hire editors. It's one of those things where you just gotta like go for it and just hope it works. Sorry, I was just stealing your channel.
Okay, so then what about people who think like YouTube is just like, boo, you can never make money? It's like, how do you just like put those people out of your head? And like, because that can be super discouraging. I don't know if it's like a generational thing.
I definitely think it's a generational thing, because with every new platform that's coming up, like TikTok and everything, everyone just wants to be a TikToker, be a YouTuber. They want to do all of that stuff, right? And I think it's just becoming a more accepted form of a career to be an influencer, well, lack of better words. Social media personality, let's put it that way. So I feel like that's just being more accepted. I will say that generationally, yeah, I mean, you do hear a lot, like, how do you make money off that? How do you make money? I'm like, well, if you knew the money that I just pulled off that last sponsor, it could be a career. And there are so many people that make so much money on YouTube, right? It just takes so much time and effort to get to that point where you can start doing that, where you also just get lucky. I've seen many creators just make content and overnight they're famous, right? There's a lot that goes into it. I don't know. It's like half luck, half hard work, sometimes more luck.
Okay, so my next question for you is, what do you think it will take in order for you to quit your full-time job and pursue YouTube long time? And is that full-time? And is that your goal ultimately?
It's definitely my goal. It's one of them. I know that it's just so hard. It's like a catch-22, right? It's like, in order for me to produce the amount of content that I would in theory need to go full-time, and it's like, well, you can't do that if you have a job and you need that job to, well, live. So it's like, you could hire an editor, but then it's like, I think I touched on this earlier, it's like you need the money to support that editor, which would come from YouTube, right? So, I don't know, I think my goal would be to get to a point where I'm pulling consistent viewership and sponsors for at least compensating for half my pay, so maybe I can go part-time. That'd be kind of cool. And then use that extra 20 hours a week or whatever to just go for it. And then, once I can start making enough money to go full, that's making my current salary or more, I would go for it in a heartbeat.
But there are definitely people that just jump into it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with everything that we want to do in life, like get a home and get married and stuff like that, we still need to not 100% risk it, we still need to have money to try to support those dreams as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We talk about this a lot.
Yeah, we do. Wow, look at the horns. So now I want to ask you, when you started growing a YouTube channel, were there certain kinds of videos that you made because you thought that it would help your channel grow, versus now you maybe want to make different kind of videos? And if so, like, is the transition hard, or what kind of advice do you have for that?
Yeah, so when I started off, I realized real quick that I can keep putting out beatboxing, like,
you can open your eyes.
Sorry, I just naturally close them now because I don't know what she's gonna do. I made certain kind of content like freestyles and other things like that because it was, I guess, true to beatboxing, easy for me. But then when you don't get any viewers, it's because you're not reaching a new audience with that, right? Which is one of the reasons why I started doing tutorials, because it's very searchable, SEO friendly, plus they are evergreen to the point that, like, I still have a tutorial that I uploaded maybe 4 years ago that's still pulling like 20-30K views a month. Right now there's over 1 million views on it. It's a tutorial just teaching people how to go from wall to wall. I also did Omeagles in the beginning too, because it was such a, I guess, prevalent style of content, and I guess a few years back, and it still is to this day. And so I knew that by doing that content and getting my live reactions on Omeagle, it would just potentially get me a whole new batch of viewers, and it did, right? Some of that content did relatively well for my size at the time. And I even had friends like Marcus Velcher, who we were creating content around the same time, and his started taking off, like massively taking off. He gained like 1 million overnight, and now he's like 3 million. He's producing amazing content. So Omeagle does really well, but Omeagle can also be like really hard to film sometimes, because it's just, I don't know, you can sit on there for like 5 hours and maybe get one reaction if you're lucky, because there's just such a wide variety of individuals on Omeagle.
That's part of it though.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes it turns into good content, but sometimes it's like defeating. You're on there for like 3 hours straight, and it's just like constant like skip next, skip next, skip next, F you next, skip you, F you, skip, F you, and they're all like 13-year-old kids flicking you off.
Should I do makeup on Omeagle?
I told you that's a great idea. So, like, I still will and always produce tutorials and Omeagles on my channel, most likely. I just know that there's so much more I want to do creatively and artistically on my channel. It's always a risk, right? Like, you and I produced an original song. I went out to LA and filmed a video for it, and it was our engagement video. Something I thought would do really well. Didn't, because my subscribers weren't there for that. People who watched it loved it. And so, like, for the engagement it got, it was phenomenal.
The engagement it got.
But viewership wasn't as high as I thought it was going to be. I think it was more of an eye-opener that I gotta start branching myself out creatively more to start acquiring the audience that would want that more. I don't know. Like, I have like several ideas in the pipeline right now that are different than I've ever done on my channel. I just gotta get around to doing them. Like right now, filming and producing an Among Us video, which will be out next week.
All right, so I know at least like with my channel, there are people that I look up to on YouTube. I'm like, oh man, like that's my aesthetic. Like that's who I would like to be. Like, you know, they're have a good following, or like, is there anyone that like you, that's like your idol or someone that you look up to or whatever?
I mean, I wouldn't say idol, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of content creators, but in a bunch of different niches that I watch, right? But I wouldn't say that anyone's like an idol per se, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Or just someone that like other creators, like
yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of beatboxing creators on the platform that I absolutely love. Like Mr. Wobbles makes. Am I good right now?
Look up.
Yeah, there you go. Mr. Wobbles makes amazingly entertaining content. He's such a good musician too. Same with Marcus Veltri. Both of them are great beatboxing content creators. I know Marcus, so weird, you're poking my eyes out. I know Marcus, focuses a lot more on piano than beatboxing, but he still has that beatboxing element. And then you have like Collapse, who has kind of just jumped into the YouTube game within like the last year and has amassed like 150,000 subscribers within like that time. It's amazing.
In a year?
Yeah, it's incredible. Now he has a really strong reputation in the beatboxing community. He's one of the top guys, right? So that definitely helped push that. But the content he's making now is just so unique and it's awesome to watch, right? Yeah, and it's just, and like Alem has been trying to do, he's a world beatboxing champion. He's been doing so much recently too as well. It's just amazing because I feel like once COVID quarantine hit, everyone started, pushing out content more and collaborating a lot. And so it's just interesting to see that. There are so many beatboxing collaborations I never thought I'd see.
Like what?
Like Trung Bao, Hiss, and a bunch of people have been jumping on. Like, so like one person would make one beat and then out of nowhere somebody would just add to it. And then like it just started like a chain of like 5 people just adding on, but they're all like top pro beatboxers and ended up making like a dope song.
Yeah.
Or like for example, I did
What? Oh, I probably should have told you to close your eyes. Is there any advice you would give yourself? Like, if you could go back and talk to yourself just starting out?
Focus on getting better at producing content versus trying to get as much out there.
Like, what do you mean by producing? Like, the kinds of videos? Or?
Quality, right? Oh. So because I was so hyper-focused on producing content weekly, I would sacrifice a lot of things. Like, even in editing, I'd be like, I don't have time to edit that. I don't have time to do that. Which, looking back, especially when some of the videos are still pulling a lot of views, like, I look back and I'm like, damn, like, that could have been a lot better.
But even if you only get like 20 views, it's like worth the time to put in.
I think so, because I feel like higher quality content will always be appreciated more. And I feel like
I still don't know how the algorithm or that crap works, because I'm like, I think my videos look good, but still only get like 10 views. So.
They care about watch time. Watch time's king. So the
longer... so like people aren't watching my videos always at the end.
I mean, I do.
That's cute.
Along with being an emotional demon, I'm a cute demon.
Aww, you're a cute demon.
Don't say that. Yeah, like for example, I took way too long to get halfway decent at making thumbnails, right? It took way too long to get halfway decent in audio, and it was just because I was so focused on producing content that I didn't do those things. Just like now, I still barely have time to push my beatboxing because I'm focusing on content so much in my free time, whereas it's like rarely do I get to sit down and work on my music. So
do you feel like you gave up? Because I know like there are sacrifices. If you want YouTube to be your career, like there's so many sacrifices, mostly time, like you just don't sleep, right? So like, but I also feel like a sacrifice is like giving up, becoming like just so much better and like clean and like just, you know what I mean? Like it's your trade-off.
Yeah, I mean, obviously being full-time at my job too, that definitely takes up a lot of time, so I can't just beatbox all day every day at work, right? I mean, people will get pissed real quick. But yeah, I feel like because I focused on producing content so much, I gave up my free time that would have been to produce music, and that's kind of why one of the reasons I stepped out of the competitive scene for a little bit, because I know that I need to focus on YouTube if I want to push YouTube, and I know that because of that I will have absolutely no time to level myself up, while a lot of these beatboxers are just spending their entire days doing that, right?
This brush is way too wet right now.
It helps that a lot of them are still in college and high school where they have that free time to just pour into their art form, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you were doing that in college.
And that was probably my biggest growth period. And so it's like, yeah, it's a sacrifice that I feel like I have to make sometimes to make content. If I was full-time, I wouldn't have to make that sacrifice. But because I lose my 8 to 10 hours a day just dealing with work, it's hard. I've been trying to force myself to practice more and more, but I still find it hard to get quality stuff in there.
Yeah, I think that the most important or best thing you can do while working and trying to do YouTube is like a schedule, which we have been horrible at with COVID.
Dude, you look like you have like chicken pox on your face.
Me?
Yeah, you have so much red in like little random areas. You're gonna watch the video and be like, hate this.
I don't know what to do. I can't fix it. I don't even know where they are. Did I get it?
Your whole face is red like mine now.
Did I get it?
No.
Did I get it?
It's not helping at all, dude.
Do something then!
It's everywhere. I can't help you.
So, my question is, like, I get kind of, like, discouraged when I think about, like, how the fact that my videos, you know, I'm just, like, new, so they don't get a lot of views. So, I don't know, like, how long has it taken you to get to 100,000 subscribers? And, like, what would your advice be? Like, how do you keep going on and pursuing this in the face of that? But before you answer that, go like this. Well, actually, don't do that. Go like this. You're cute. You're a cute little devil. Don't look at me like that.
I mean, like, for me, it's one of those things where the one thing, like, things that keep me going are the fact that I still, every year I'm getting better. Every year I'm doing more. Better at creating content, editing, filming, everything. Every year I'm pulling in more money. And so I see it going up and up, right? So it's like, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The prospects of it becoming a career, basically, everything I just said, is going up and up every year. Other things are just the constant messages I get from people telling me how much I've helped them and, like, taught them and stuff, which is awesome to hear. And on top of that, it's the fact that I've put 5 years into this already. I will not let it fail. That's a pretty big time sink to just be like, I'm done. And I still love it. So it's like, with all of that, it just kind of sinks up to just keep going. But like, in terms of advice for new people, it's hard, right? Because in the beginning, when you have nobody, you're screaming at the void. You'll put all this time and energy into content and it might never hit.
So is it just about like thinking about things that might pop off, or like?
In the beginning, it's really just kind of about garnering attention.
How do you do that?
Like, well, for me, it was teaching a sound that was new into the beatboxing scene. I think a niche helps you be unique. For you right now, it's like, it's not as small of a community, right?
Right.
So it's hard to find videos to then branch out. That's why people are utilizing platforms like TikTok and new things that can build you faster.
Oh, you're gonna have to do this because you're gonna hate it.
I can't do anything. I'm not doing it. It's all you.
You have to do it.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
What do I have to do?
You have to take this eyeliner.
I'm not putting it on the inside.
put it-
No.
Yes!
Hell no.
Tyler, it will complete the look. Right now, I see skin waterline. Devils don't have skin waterlines. They have black
what if
holes
this one does?
of an eyes.
What if this one does?
No!
And you gotta give me a mirror and you gotta let me try it.
I feel my pants! You're never gonna get
Stop. Show me it.
Your lips look so black in the camera. That's so weird. Okay, so I think that's it. That is the depth. Don't smile. Okay, well, do you have any final advice that you would like to give?
I want you to like, comment, subscribe to cassieteeno.
And TylaDubya.
Yes.
Alright, so this is the final devil makeup look. Well, you're not supposed to turn this sad. And also, you probably should put more red down here. But anyway, I hope you liked the questionnaire video. And I hope you liked this devil Halloween look. And I hope that this helped you in case you're thinking of pursuing a creative career.
I know I rambled a lot, but I hope that it gave a little bit of insight into what it takes to be a content creator.
I hope these questions helped. And if you liked the video, then like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. You want to blow a kiss with me?
I can sit here and go like,
Yes, you do, actually. YouTube channel.
I just call you me.
TylaDubya.
Can you itch my ear?
No. Look up and start talking. No, not your head, just your eyes. Don't smile. Stop that.
Yeet.